Good morning, everybody. The number 3 team in the country, Tennessee, just keeps on chugging along. The Vols handed Wake Forest a loss 83-64 at Thompson-Boling Arena. Shouts out to Daniel Sexton. It was tight early, but Grant Williams set a tone and wore down the Deacs with a physical presence. Now, Williams did his work in the paint early. He was drawing fouls and finishing tough through contact. Give him the hoop and the arm. Williams finished 3-and-1 opportunities in the first half. The difference between 6 and 9 points. At the beginning of the day, Williams was just outside the top 50 in the country for free throw attempts, and he's averaging at about attempt and a half more than last year.
Because, he's got a 6'11" wingspan, and the one thing he's added to his game is that high release jump shot, and he can take a hit. That's what he does. He can deliver one, but he can take one too, and he can score through contact.
The Lady Vols were able to bounce back against ETSU, and they did it without a lot of scoring coming from Avina Westbrook. The sophomore point guard was averaging 20-plus points over the past 4 games, but only was able to score 2 points on Friday night. But one thing head coach Holly Warlick says she gets from Avina is leadership when she's struggling.
Those are the things that don't show up in the stat sheet here. Because Avina's had some great games, but you can't measure a game by your stats, especially if you're a point guard. It's about getting your team ready to play and getting where they need to be. And Avina did a great job of that tonight.
We are so close to conference play for these two teams. The Lady Vols have 2 games left in the month of December. They play Murray State and then Belmont in the same weekend. And then the men will play Tennessee Tech at Thompson-Boling Arena next Saturday. Then we're getting to the good stuff. The Lady Vols open up SEC play on the road against Auburn on January 3rd, and the men will host Georgia on January 5th. All right, so yesterday was Saturday, and it's that time of the year where the NFL decides to mix things up and throw in a game in the middle of the weekend. Sure, why not? This one, unfortunately, Titans and Redskins, was on NFL Network, and I know not everybody has that channel, so I figured it might be nice to go ahead and recap it. Let's do a classic highlight. To Nashville we go. The playoffs are a real possibility for the Titans, but they need to win out. Derrick Henry gets the ball on the goal line, cuts to his left, stumbles, and bumbles into the end zone. He has 8 touchdowns in the last 4 games. The PAT, it's no good. 6-0 Titans. Injury alert here for Tennessee. Marcus Mariota lands on his elbow. They're calling it a stinger. He left the game, and we do not know what his status will be moving forward. Something to check. In the 4th quarter, Titans down. Blaine Gabbert finds Michael Pruitt. No relation to Jeremy Pruitt, from what I understand, for the go-ahead touchdown. And then Josh Johnson and the Washington Redskins for a last-second throw. It's intercepted by Malcolm Butler, and he takes it all the way back for a score with double zeros on the board because why not? Points are fun. Titans win 25-16. Here's head coach Mike Vrabel.
At the only scenarios, which there are a million of them, I wasn't good at math, but the only scenario that any of us are smart enough to worry about is us preparing to win and then ultimately winning. And that's all we can do right now.
Well, Mike, I'm not very good at math either, but I went ahead and tried to figure this out here. The Titans can win the final wild card spot or win the AFC South division straight up. For the wild card spot, they have to beat the Colts, and then they need the Ravens or the Steelers to lose one of their final 2 games. To win the division, that's going to be a little bit harder. They have to beat the Colts, and then the Texans have to lose twice. And a quick update on that NFL stuff for you. The Ravens were able to knock off the Chargers. So that means that the Titans need the Steelers to lose one of their final 2 games, or they need the Browns to beat the Ravens in the final week of the regular season, on top of also beating the Colts. And a quick update for you. This just happened late last night. The number 1 Kansas Jayhawks have lost. They lost to ASU just by a couple of points in the final seconds. So what does that mean for Tennessee? That number 1 spot is open. You've got Duke sitting at number 2 and the Vols sitting at number 3. So chances are, come the next AP poll, the Tennessee Volunteers will be either the number 1 or the number 2 team in the country. Isn't that wild? I love college basketball. It's such a fun time. And we're not even in 2019 yet. We still got SEC play to go. Buckle up, folks. It's going to be a great ride.